Hi, how's it going? I'm Mark, and I'm here with my co-host today, Keith. Say hi, Keith.
Hello, everybody.
Ooh, we're gonna be reviewing Deadpool and Wolverine. Uh, Pretty interesting. Just came out this weekend. Really hype movie. Everyone has high hopes for it. It's doing really well in the box office. 200 million first. What is it? First day or something? First 2 days of opening. First two
Yeah,
days, it's like
just
200
about.
million.
hmm
Um, and we're gonna give it our honest opinions, our honest thoughts with it, and I'll try to be subjective, even though I have a problem with Disney and Marvel in general. Disney, but we thought we had opening thoughts before we went into it, so let's hear what your initial opening thought was going into the movie.
Mine was going to it blank slate, closed mind, like empty mind, and I just want entertainment, and that's what I got from this movie. Was just pure entertainment. I didn't need the whole connectivity of other things. They did a little bit TVA, which is fine because that's how you're gonna have to do it. But for me, overall, loved it. Loved it. It was just pure entertainment, and that's what I wanted. What are your thoughts, man?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, entertainment is good, but I had a different thought process,
hmm
and personally, I think in my mind, this is kind of the route it took. I thought it was going to be a nostalgic movie off the rip. I thought it was going to make its money off nostalgia, because you get that from just bringing in Hugh Jackman as one of the main entities, and then I thought it would be a gappy kind of plot, and we'll talk more about. I'll talk more about why I think it was that way, and that's what I thought going into it, and I stand my ground. I think that's kind of where it was at. I
Okay.
think it's a really enjoyable movie for sure. It's funny.
Mm.
It's got all the laughs. It's got all the cool stuff you'd want to see. The people from before. And by the way, anybody watching this, spoilers if you don't want to know any more about the movie and you haven't seen it. All right, we will be talking about cameos and everything that happens in the movie. All right. But,
Mm-mm.
anyways, I kind of want to kick us off from the beginning, personally, because I thought it opened pretty well with a Deadpool opening. I thought it was really Deadpool esque on how it opened,
Yes.
forward to back, or yeah, from future to back, back to
hmm
the future. You know what I mean? Thought it was really neat. I think they kind of skipped something here. I think because it's a 6 year gap, dude. And I
Right.
think whatever happened now. Okay, this is something I talked to my wife about. In Deadpool 2, the whole thing relied on the fact that what's the lady's name? I can't think of her name.
His wife or his girlfriend,
His girlfriend. What's
Vanessa.
Vanessa? Him
Yeah.
and Vanessa were like soulmates sharing a afterlife together. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yet here we are in the opening of Deadpool 3, 6 years in between, and they're not together.
Yeah.
And you don't really understand why. You know what I mean?
I'm
And
I'm
go
with
ahead.
that.
Go ahead.
Nah, I'm sorry. I'm with that because I totally was like, all right. Like I didn't know. I was like, all right. They're like kind of flirting, but they kind of like not together. So I just was
I
just like, all right, we're just gonna roll with it. But
I thought it was a different Vanessa. Personally, I just there was
yeah,
no
me too.
way this was the same person from the previous movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's something and this is kind of a difference of what I see. This is me nitpicking at the end of the day,
hmm
kind of. Because I've had enough of Marvel's gappiness and just flying into something actiony to kind of kind of take your thoughts away from it. I want structured. I think Hollywood is unhinged, and I'm going to go on my soapbox real fast.
Go on up there.
I think plot structures are missed in today's world. I think writing is terrible, and you get that a lot through Disney, the acolyte. Um, and I think nobody's holding them accountable because take me for example, and me disliking something would be hate reviewing something, even though I think they are very capable of making bad stuff. But anyways, I digress. But that was my kind of thought of the opening itself. I thought it was really neat. It grabbed me. It was just as it continued forward, I guess kind of got lost in the fact that what the fuck happened? Why are they not together anymore? What is going on? You kind of get this thing where he goes to Earth 616, right? So you get
Mhm.
the appearance that he's obviously in what Earth 1005, I think it is.
Yes, that's where he's That's his Earth. Yes,
Yeah,
1005.
and he uses Cable's timeline,
Time watch.
yeah, thing
Yeah.
which is another thing. I know this is me and Keith's first kind of Marvel introduction, but if you go back and take a look at some of my Loki reviews, dude, I don't agree with the fact that time travel is the same as universal hopping. I think that negates what Endgame was talking about, and you're in this whole different realm, you know. But for the sake of argument, we're just going to keep talking with it. And he goes to Earth 616, and I would assume it's before Endgame, trying to get into
Oh, when he's talking
to Happy Hogan.
Happy Hogan, yeah.
Yeah, obviously it's before Endgame because Iron Man is still alive, and
Oh yeah, that's right.
yeah,
Yeah,
and
because you mentioned him real quick. Yeah.
that's where he's like, oh, I need it for my lady, you know, whatever. I need something more of myself or whatever.
Yeah, he's like, I'm trying to prove myself.
But
like,
supposedly,
more of my life.
Supposedly the conversation in the kitchen when he's like, "Do you want me or not want me?" Because he's kind of sulking about not getting into it. That conversation is supposed to happen after the fact. So what happened before the fact? I go back to like, I don't get it, right? But
Yeah.
either way, I'm gonna let you kind of take forward as we go forward here, talking about the movie, to get a little more likeness into the movie. You know what I mean? Some more positive outlooks, because I'm a negative Nancy, baby.
to to just to add on the whole Vanessa thing, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of over it. Like, I feel like they should have left that in the last Deadpool, which it still hits you with your heartstrings a little bit when we talk about it a little bit later. Like, they still, you know, with flashbacks and stuff like that, there's still a little bit of emotional to it because he has such a love for her. But then like what you said, I was just like, I was confused and I was like, all right. But luckily they didn't stay with it too long.
Yeah, and that's going to get into something I have a little later, but yeah, keep going. Yeah, keep on.
So it was a great intro. NSYNC dancing to NSYNC and using Logan from the Logan movie, which, you know, I think that was sick. Like, you see the whole.
Oh yeah, he's using the body parts of Logan to beat the living piss out of him.
What a great intro, and just like what you said. But yeah, once we get to, you know, he does a whole, what is it, Quentin Tarantino that does that? You know, like he'll do a scene and goes flashback. So they do that, which is cool. But yeah, once they get to the party, and then the TVA shows up, and you know, I skipped. My bad. He's working. He's a working man.
He gives up.
He sells cars.
He's working with Peter.
I love Peter. Everybody loves Peter. You know, for me, I loved it because it eased it into it. It didn't drag on for too long because next thing you know, he's in the TVA. They snatch him up, and he's got like a whole little side mission with. I love this guy too. I love his name's Paradox.
Yeah, the TVA
manager
or whatever.
Like, he was like that perfect conniving British. I think he was British, but like just conniving a-hole. So I'm like, he was really nice. But yeah, for me though, I will agree with you because we'll talk about it later. Like in the middle of the movie, it kind of dragged for me. But once they pick things up quick.
Yeah, everything transfers really fast, and so obviously, like the main thing to it is his universe is dying, right? We go back to the TVA, and unfortunately, something you said earlier, I have to agree with, and you have to use the TVA to get into what you want to get into, right? It's like the bridge between getting in between the universes in its own way, but I also think that it's being overplayed, TVA-wise, too. I'm kind of tired of it. Why is it still a thing? What happened to it after Loki? We're talking more we're talking more gaps here. Like, why is it all of a sudden a complete functioning unit again with rogue people in it? Whatever. Either way. So anyways, his universe is degrading. That's where they team up with Wolverine, right? You get Hugh Jackman, right? Everybody loves Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. Love it. Everybody wants to see it, and I think they still do it because nobody knows what to do and who to cast as Wolverine that isn't him. It's the biggest challenge I think you would face in an X-Men universe He's too perfect with it, and the crazy thing is he's too old. He's 60. He's
Which
old.
he doesn't look it.
Yeah,
He
I know.
still
You
doesn't
wouldn't
look
you
it.
wouldn't think it, but
You wouldn't think it.
he's old as shit.
They did have
Henry
when he
Cavill.
was going through spots trying to find his or a new Logan. They did show a man from DC for a hot second who didn't look too bad. His hair was a little wonky for me, but like I don't know. I liked him. I was like, if there was gonna be a Wolverine replacement, I'm cool with him. Like,
Yeah, I mean, everybody loves him at the end of the day. So it was pretty neat seeing him, and that was part of those. It's part of those cameos that you like to see more of. But going forward, right? They eventually get zapped into when they try to fight back with the TVA. They go against the TVA. And I'm skipping around. If you want big plot structures, go see the movie, dude. But they get bounced back. They get bounced into the void, right? Whatever it's called, and that's where they meet a character. And unfortunately, I'm going to be very honest about this one. I fucking hated seeing Chris Evans as Johnny Storm because
really?
at the end of the day, he's so Captain America. When you hear him say fucking something, fucking whatever,
Yeah.
all you can picture is Captain America cursing at something.
Okay.
And I think that is going to play big and to a future talk about at the end of this, we're going to talk about, I think it's going to play big into why things aren't going to work out the way they think they are. It's so much different than having some random person being cast as Johnny Storm or some crap. When you take someone who spent 15, 20 years as that role model, and especially that role model in particular, who is supposed to be God's right-hand man, and he's got all the speeches, you just want to get behind him and fight everybody, you know, and I just can't see it. It was too much for me at the end of the day. Even my wife was like, I didn't like that. Because it's Captain America. I get that he was Johnny Storm first, but he was Johnny Storm for what, 4 years?
Yeah, 2 movies.
Yeah, dude. And his young and that just faded away, and he took over Captain America. This righteous man.
I'm with it. I see where you're coming from, but also at the same time, I see it as it's such a blip. Like if you really think it's not like a long running, like what we're gonna talk about later, that's a huge difference. Like if it was gonna be him coming back and he plays Johnny Storm through the rest of these other movies, that's where I could be like, all right,
okay,
like, that's stupid.
There's a certain someone we're gonna talk about that is coming back to play someone specific. That's the point I'm talking about. It's gonna become too much, because when do you say no? When is no enough? You know, so basically, what you get a lot through these movies, through Deadpool and Wolverine, is a lot of Fox-centric callbacks, which is part of that nostalgia look to it. You know,
I love that.
And he was the first one to get into, and they go into what I would have thought was going to be the actual bad guy into the movie. But I'm skipping something. They meet Wolverine or Sabretooth and all those people.
Oh yeah, the whole
and
Darth Maul, baby.
Yeah, and
I was so happy he was back in that.
I can't think of the X-Men who controls fire. I wouldn't have thought he could
Pyro.
control Johnny. Yeah, Pyro. I wouldn't have thought he could control Johnny Storm that much. Someone that could go.
That's literally his power. He just sucks up fire and then reuses it. So, it's
but
the ultimate counter.
Yeah, I mean, I would just. But at the end of the day, can't Johnny Storm do fire too? Can he take it back?
Not when it's all sucked up.
But anyways, go supernova and melt his hand down.
Yeah.
But anyways, you get all those Fox-century X-Men in a back, and they take him to what I thought was going to be the big bad guy, which I guess you could make an argument was, but wasn't. You know, you get Cassandra Nova. Did you know who Cassandra Nova was going into it?
No idea.
No idea. Most people did.
No idea. No idea. I've never heard of her ever. And I never read the comics, but I'm more like X-Men cartoons, but I faded off.
Yeah. Yeah.
and stuff like that. So I'm like borderline knowing of good general stuff. But
Yeah.
no idea.
Yeah. It's the same concept. Most people don't know of. Oh my God, I don't want to say Nova. I don't think that's her name. The female Silver Surfer. They go,
Oh,
the female Silver Surfer that it's in like maybe half a comic for Galactus that they keep entering. Where it's Norrin Rad, dude. Jesus Christ. Nobody cares. They just want Norrin Rad.
mm-hmm.
But anyways, that I feel really strong about that one. but anyways, yeah, she shows up. I didn't realize how powerful she really was because she rips that dude's skin off. That was pretty wild.
I knew she threatening, which I really love.
Well, she's supposed to be. She's not.
Well, I know, like psychotic threatening, like
yeah.
I love that. I haven't felt that way since Black Panther.
Yeah, I thought she would have been good as a good as a main villain somewhere within the X-Men universe.
Yes. Totally agree with that.
The biggest difference I would say is that Charles tries to kill her in the womb. In the comics.
They said it so fast. I didn't quite hear it because I was like, I don't know if
she said
he tried to kill her.
Yeah, no, in the movie she said that she tried to kill him, and the TVA like nixed her out, but it's actually him who tries to kill her.
All right.
Yeah, and
thanks for clarifying because that one flew over my head and they said it so fast.
I did like as you go towards the end, at the end of the movie they classified her as the first time ever you hear a classification of a mutant and they call her the Omega level mutant.
Yeah,
I thought that was pretty neat.
I was with that.
Yeah, I'm a big X-Men kind of person. If you like Deadpool and Wolverine, you would be too, you know. And but anyways, that's where they meet. They escape, and that's where they meet. You get the first glimpse of a different Deadpool. Still Ryan Reynolds, but
this one, I'm gonna cut you off. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, go for it. This is you.
This is where my nitpick hit because I felt like it was a good setup scene for what they were gonna do later in the movie, which I get. But this scene felt so long. Like they kept jabbing at each other. And after a while, even though they brought Dogpool, which I love that dog, but like it just kept going. I was like, that scene felt like it was 20 minutes.
It did seem pretty long.
But then like for them to meet up, I wish they would have done like it just felt random too. Like because they were going over the hill, and then like Dogpool shows up, and then he shows up. I kind of rather them find that Honda, and then be like, oh. Well, this is coincidence. We just found this random Honda, and then he shows up, and then like mix the two scenes together.
Yeah,
because having them two separate was just like way too long for me.
Yeah, I feel like I feel like that's just part of the gappy plot structure I'm talking about, dude. Yep. They're just trying to fill something because at the end of the day, the plot from the movie is just okay. I gotta save my universe somehow. Mm-hmm. How are you gonna fill that in the void or something else with these nostalgic people coming in and out, mm-hmm. And you want if you were Disney, right, you've already made the money because you have Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, as the main entities, right? Deadpool, Wolverine. You've already sold that. You've already made the money. You have invested into the movie. Right. Correct. So you don't really have to do much besides give them a little bit more, make it funny, give them something that they want to see. The people aren't going to look at the plot. No way, no how. You're just going to be like,
not, because I didn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, but at the end of the day, it's a good movie to laugh at. It's a good movie. But if you're looking for something that's going to make sense into the Marvel universe, or like it's from start to finish, like, and you're looking for some kind of connection somewhere, you're not going to find it. Which it's not there.
I kind of loved because it was connected but not. If that kind of makes sense. Because, the only thing that was connected was the TVA.
Yeah, and I just think they missed an opportunity. But I'll explain at the end. But yeah, I just think they missed an opportunity, anyways, we're gonna go off the movie. I talk about it later, but. Keep going. They find Deadpool. And then
They find Beautiful Pool or whatever his
Beautiful
name
Pool,
is.
whatever it is.
And
Super
then,
nice.
even though we kind of skipped the actual first fight between Wolverine and Deadpool, which was god tier, amazing. Because when Wolverine pulled out his claws and then did the crawl run, I lost it.
Yeah.
But then they followed it up with, after they find the Honda and they're on their little road trip, and then Wolverine finds out that, you know, Deadpool was lying the whole time, which everybody knew. They come up with another, a better fight than the first one. And these two duke it out in the Honda. I mean, for that choreography in that Honda was so sick. Like,
It probably
I don't
took a
know
little
how they
bit to
pulled it
get,
off.
for sure.
It was so good in and out of the Honda, in between chairs. Like, and then they fought for like 10 hours?
Yeah, like they showcased it like it was fighting all night, and then I think it was funny how Deadpool was all wrapped up, and then Logan's just
seatbelts.
chilling out, sleeping in the other seat. But yeah, that was definitely that. They definitely went after it for sure because Wolverine let Deadpool have it, made him feel like a piece of shit.
He was trashing him.
Oh, big
verbally
time.
and physically.
Yeah. But that's where they meet your next nostalgia moment, dude.
Oh, and this is where I popped off. I went full audience clap, and I said, "Oh crap!" out loud.
We'll bring it in. What did they find?
So what's her name? X-22?
X-23.
23. All right, I was off by one. So she finds them. She brings them to. They were looking for this group anyway, and throughout the whole movie to escape where they're at now.
Mm-hmm.
And they wake up in this little fort, which was cool. And the first nostalgia hit, I was like, all right, fine. It was Elektra. Like, I was like, all right, cool, whatever. The second one, I'm sorry, when Blade walked through, I lost it. Wesley Snipes
yeah, that was
back
pretty.
as Blade. I was like, this movie's perfect. I was like, I was, Mark, I was good, bro. I could have walked out that movie theater right then and there once I saw him.
I thought it was interesting because they also did the nod when he goes, "I'm the only Blade you'll see," whatever. And then Deadpool looks back because it was
discussion, bro.
It was right after the movie Deadpool Wolverine opened up where Kevin Feige, whatever, said that the next R-rated movie is going to be Blade.
Yeah, that's what was that, like 6 years ago?
Yeah, but this one's in the works right now. This one's coming. I think they were waiting to see how the R-rated movie worked with Disney and the audience or something. So, because at the end of the day, it's Blade. Are you not going to make it R-rated?
Oh yeah, if that would have came out, if that's going to come out PG-13, there's no way I'm seeing that. But yeah, Wesley, like I said, I lost it, and then we had Gambit.
Tell me what you think.
I actually liked it.
Really? I thought he didn't.
It was one of those deep rumors from like our childhood for like years.
I thought he looked too big. I thought he was way too big, and I think we have slept on somebody who played the role way fucking better, even though it was a movie people didn't like. Wolverine Origins. Mm-hmm. The guy that played John Carter, I don't know what his acting name is. Sorry, but the guy who played John Carter
too.
Right?
Love that movie.
Yeah, that movie deserved a fucking sequel. But the guy who played John Carter played Gambit first, and man, he fucking nailed it. That guy, I was so excited to see. Everybody wants to see Gambit, and everyone wants to see Remy LeBeau, dude. And I thought he was Southern. I thought he was a Southern French kind of accent to it. He might have not have had the 97 X-Men fucking outfit at the time, but you still get to see Gambit in his fucking role. And I thought he nailed it. I was hoping to see more of this guy. Right. Because, I mean, I think this actor is so underrated. And when I saw him, I immediately saw Channing Tatum and I go, why is he so big? He's huge. He's on steroids.
It didn't help because he had the whole skeleton suit going up to his head and everything just looked squished.
Because they were trying to do that X-Men 97 The X-Men
Yeah.
animation, everyone knows him as.
But
But
I do agree with you. It should have been the actor who played John Carter in the first.
100%.
Yeah, but my whole take with this is I love how they went with such a deep rumor from basically our childhood. Like you heard it like every year. He was supposed to get a Gambit movie, or he was supposed to be Gambit for like God knows what 20 years now. But then like they took it to a whole nother level, and they took it like so extreme where like he was just so over the top, which
Yeah,
I
but
love
I
because you
also
couldn't
thought he was a
understand him.
little bit of a bitch, though, too.
Yeah, like I loved it that it was just so over the top, and then Deadpool was just like, "Yo, we need subtitles for this dude. We can't understand
Give me
what
the
he's
bow."
saying." Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, it adds its own hilarious factor to it, right? It adds its own Deadpoolness to it, and he makes a side commentary and everything. And I'm not saying that was a negative outlook, but I still think I was a missed opportunity personally.
right.
And I'm going to get to why I think this is a missed opportunity at the end on the review, and it'll fall in line eventually here when I talk about it. But whoa, that is when they all get together and they go back to Cassandra Nova, right?
They all team up.
And yep, and they all fight. Logan Wolverine finally comes in because you get the backstory to his world on what happened to it. He let all his friends down and die. He went to go drink and didn't help them when they asked for his help, and it
I didn't
ruined
like
their
that.
world. Yeah, it was weird. And
I'm gonna agree with you. I'm sorry, but like that's probably my second or third real small nitpick, but it's probably my biggest one. I hated that they were saying he's the worst one. He's this. He's that. I'm thinking like he joined with the humans and went and killed the rest of the
hunting 'em?
crew. Yeah, like
yeah,
but he was like, "Oh, I went to a bar, got drunk, and then the humans killed the X-Men." I'm like,
yeah,
and then he just went on a rampage. I'm like, what?
That doesn't
Like
make
that's
any
why
sense
he's
to me.
the worst one. But that's besides the point. That
He
pissed me off.
made the world hate X-Men. Well, if
They
you
already
talk,
hated the
yeah,
X-Men.
yeah. I mean, they're
I
one
mean,
of
and-
they're all the mutants, and every X-Men, every mutant is always being taken down. I mean, if you want to really get involved into it, let's go back and talk about Civil War. That should have been like a 6-movie saga.
Yes.
I mean,
Like
Jesus.
I hated his whole background. I was like, this should have been way worse, but it is what it is. It's
yeah,
whatever. But
yeah. I mean, like I said, they came up with a story. They made it go. This is where he kind of like comes into himself and he starts helping the crew out. And they go in and fight Cassandra Nova, and they needed the Juggernaut's helmet.
Mhm.
And that's where they move forward and move past what you think the villain was, because she helps them get through. I guess I'm kind of like skipping things here and there. But if you want more in-depth view to it, I mean, just go watch the movie. But that's where she eventually helps them leave with a Doctor Strange ring. And they come to find out she's upset because they tried to kill her.
Yep. Paradox,
The TVA, yeah,
especially.
Paradox
Yeah.
of the TVA wanted her out. And so she takes it upon herself to go use the timeline ripper, whatever it is, the timeline ripper.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
It was something.
more
like
Loki shit. Go talk, whatever. But
yeah, 'cause it had all the strings. Everything
yeah.
started getting all stringy
yeah,
too.
it's. I'm telling you, I don't think Loki season 2 is that great. But
I agree.
yeah, it created more anarchy than anything. But it's a time ripper that he wants to destroy all these random timelines, and then she wants to take the time ripper and just make everything the void. And
I liked.
yeah,
I
I mean,
like
it's like I
That
said,
was a
I
good-
thought that she should have been the main villain to begin with, but you're kind of teetering on two different villains. And I kind of said this to Keith in the beginning. I said there's probably going to be too many villains. You get too many villains, you don't know really what's happening. You don't know who is a really big bad guy. I thought, was it Pyro? I thought there was
Yeah.
going to be something more bigger to it, but he just
Yeah,
showed
especially
up
when
and
you found out
died.
he's Loki like working
Yeah.
for the TVA. That kind of went nowhere. So
Yeah,
was like,
I mean, it was that. Well, you want to talk about a dead end? I thought there was something going to happen with it, and then she just fucking kills him, and that was it. And I was like, "What the fuck?" And she decides to take her own vengeance and throws Paradox aside, and she hires and this was something you heard about from the good Deadpool or whatever, the beautiful Deadpool.
Yeah.
That there was a bunch of Deadpools in the void, and this is where you get to see them all, and this is where the fight scene really erupts.
Yeah,
towards the end.
that was gnarly. That was great.
Yeah, and Deadpool.
Oh,
and,
sorry, and Wolverine, he put on the mask.
Oh yeah.
My
That's where
movie
you
theater
finally get to
lost
see
it.
it.
Everybody
Yeah.
in the movie theater lost it when I watched it when he put on the mask, and it looked great.
Yeah, I mean, it was exactly what you want. Everybody's been waiting to see Wolverine in this mask, and the beautiful Deadpool. I thought the whole scene leading up to the fight was pretty funny. How he's using the beautiful Deadpool as a shield for all the bullets or whatever. And
That's
then,
what I was talking about. Like for them to set up that scene, I get, but it was just way too long from the middle of the movie. But the way they set it up, it was perfect. Like, use him
and
as a meat
then Wolverine just holds up the dog, just walks through. No Deadpool wants to kill the dead dog.
Yeah.
The pool dog or whatever you call it.
Oh my gosh.
But,
that was a great scene, man.
I thought it was really, and this part of me, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I get it kind of fits the Deadpool persona, but so obviously you can guess that Wolverine and Deadpool cut through everybody, but it's Deadpool. For some reason, the only Deadpool that doesn't have a regenerating factor is beautiful Deadpool. But the only thing that saves him is Peter. Peter shows up, and they're all like, Peter, everyone's got a Peter. I personally, I think that's a kind of a Deadpool cop-out. I mean, that was pretty weird. I wouldn't know how you would defeat Deadpool army, personally, but...
I guess you would have to, like, cut off all their heads. But
yeah.
I get it, but it also made it funny, so
yeah,
I was with it. It was,
like I said, I think it was a Deadpool-esque thing. But
yeah. Like, he's trying to fit in the suit, and it's just, like, everything's, like, bulging out.
And that's where this is something, and then we're getting to, as we're coming into the end here, where we get to the point where they have to stop the Time Ripper, or they have to connect the matter and the antimatter together to blow up the Time Ripper, right? And you kind of think back to Wolverine, where he's been able to hold against a lot. And then you got Deadpool, who can't really fucking die. I thought there's a big tussle. Wolverine's going to do it because his universe is already fucked, and then Deadpool winds up making the sacrifice, and then
switch.
And then you come to realize they both need to do it together. Now, I had an idea going into this when I seen this scene that, oh my God, maybe we're finally going to get to see Death. Maybe she is going to make this appearance.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
Because at the end of the day, they should be ripped apart.
Yes.
They shouldn't have lived, dude.
Yeah.
Are we not, like, are we just skipping this fact that they came out unscathed? Just because Wolverine's six-pack is beautiful, you know? Yeah, ripped. But I don't understand why they lived. Dude, every ounce says they should have died. But the only way they couldn't have died is if Death was there. And we all, if you know anything about Deadpool, you know he has this entanglement with Death.
I do.
It's one of the reasons Thanos can't stand fucking Deadpool, because he's fucking jealous that the fact that Death and Deadpool have a thing.
Yeah.
And I thought that was going to be pretty. I thought it was like, all right, here we go. You know, like maybe he's going to see some vision or something. He's going to meet her or whatever. Nope. It kind of just, in my point of view, it was neat, but I thought the plot armor was too thick. You needed something else to fill the gap. At this point, you're watching Goku fight somebody, and you know he's not going to lose. Even if he loses, he's going to gain Ultra Instinct 10 point up. You know what I mean? I love Goku, but that's what you're watching here, dude. And you get the ending of it. They stop it. The head lady, Anthony Mackie's fucking woman form comes down. You can't tell me that doesn't look like the Falcon is a fucking fatter woman, dude. But
that's true.
Yeah,
damn.
dude, I'm telling you.
Now I can't unsee that.
Yeah, I was thinking about that every time you see her. But she makes the switch. She makes things happen for everybody, and I think that's about it. You know. And
yeah. No, you definitely nailed that on the head. And just to add on to it, for a hot second, it did kind of get to the heartstrings, of them actually. Because I thought, because since this is like almost essentially their final hurrah, like I know they never kind of technically said it.
I kind of
But,
thought
like,
that too. Yeah.
that I totally agree with you. I was like, oh man, they're gonna go. Like, and if they do, I would have been standing up clapping. Like, that's some balls if they do it. And then at the same time, I was like, all right. I mean, it's the bait and switch, so it's fine. They're still alive, but yeah, no, I totally agree with you.
Unscathed.
Unscathed,
Except for Wolverine.
Wolverine lost his suit, so
Yeah, so you can see a six pack. I get it, dude. I get it. It's funny. It's a great movie. You're laughing, nostalgia. But there's no impact at the end of the day. You're just watching an anime with absolute thick plot armor, dude. The writing, in my point of view, I'll talk about it in a second because I want to get your review first because I could drag on for a million years. I'll try to sum it up pretty fast, but that's pretty much the end of the movie. I don't know. I didn't watch. I watched they run through the clips and the credits of like
I love
the
that.
making of all the 20th Century Fox things.
Absolutely love that.
Was there anything at the
Little
end of
montage.
that? I think there was or something. But I
Yeah,
didn't
so
watch
if you stayed to the end, which this is what I want, and this is what it encapsulates, if I can say that. That's a big word for me. Or sums up the whole movie, which this is a pure fan service. And for them to have like an Easter egg, extra credit scene, whatever, and have it not connect to anything but that movie, that's why I think this movie's great, because it just shows Deadpool back in the little bunker TVA, and he's like, I'm going to show you the evidence of what Johnny Storm said. So they go back to when they're traveling in the ball and they're all tied up, and there's like a little camera above their head, and Deadpool's like kind of egging them on, like, oh, who's this chick that we're going to go meet? And then Johnny Storm is just like going off, saying everything what Deadpool actually said before he killed him. So it was just a funny scene. He was like, here's the evidence. So it wrapped that scene up too, where, you didn't see that. Why? Because you thought Deadpool was lying and he was making it all up, but no, it's not. So it was a very funny scene.
That's pretty weird because in the movie, like I said, I didn't stay to the very end, but Wolverine kept assuming that it was because of him. Like he was making it. I felt like he was. You know what? I'd have to watch it again. I thought he said he was lying or something. Maybe he was just making it seem like because he told her that stuff, he killed him.
Yeah, I think he was.
Yeah,
I think he was trying to help. I think he was trying to tell him like, "Yo, shut up." Like, like
maybe. I wouldn't think they. I wouldn't think they're that fucking shitty at writing something that they would plot hole it that bad. But
yeah,
but
but it was. But like you said though, I get the plot holes and I get it. But like I think the comedy and like they brought so much love into this, where you can really skip an eye to it. For me, like it didn't bug me that much. Some things, like I said, bug me, but like for me to laugh that hard and just be so entertained, I'm fine. Like this can be its own entity.
So give us a rating, man. Give us your final review of Deadpool Wolverine, and then give us a rating out of 10.
10. Like I said, it was just I
right up there, huh?
Yeah, man. So for me, like I said earlier, like if I can go into a movie and just shut off my brain and just be so entertained, like for example, Godzilla and Kong, dumbest movie in the world, doesn't have to make sense, but if you give me monsters and you give me monsters that fight really good and I can see it, like in this movie, there's multiple fights, it's so funny. You gave me member berries out the wazoo. Like I absolutely loved it, and like I said, anything that I nitpicked I can look over and just not have a care because it's its own entity. So 10 out of 10 for me, buddy.
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you 100%. And I would have completely agreed with you 100% maybe 2 years ago. I don't go to a movie anymore with that thought process of just getting lost into it anymore. I think, and this comes for a personal opinion on my end, because I think, this isn't just Marvel. This isn't just Disney. It's not just Disney fucking shit up. I think the writing is becoming terrible in Hollywood in general. And I know this is kind of like a way crazier fucking statement than Deadpool Wolverine, but if we just let things continue sliding, they'll keep doing stupid shit. With even if it's not within a movie like this, where you can get away with, okay, well, it's gappy, but it's funny, it's entertaining, and everything like that, right? Say Lord of the Rings, or AKA The Rings of Power. What fucking terrible fucking writing. Or the Star Wars universe, they keep fucking up, and they want to do a fucking movie about Rey. I mean, or Netflix creating a show of 2 seasons and fucking it off. Or The Witcher, where they completely fly away with it, and they're just like, well, we're just going to change everything because we want to, and we think we're good writers, even though they're source material.
Right.
Where does it stop? And the fact that we keep getting stupid shit like this, I can't go into a movie anymore without looking at the plot. I want the writing to be good. I look at a movie where writing has to be solid. If you have a couple holes here and there, that's fine, minor things or whatever. But for the most part, it's got to do something. And for me, I was hoping. But I have a whole problem with what Marvel's doing right now, because they can't make everything into the 616 universe. What they're doing is they're making universe after universe after universe after universe, right? So if you want to see Fantastic Four and Earth 616, it's not going to happen. They're not. They don't belong in. They're not in Earth 616.
It's in the 60s, right, or something too.
Yeah,
it's
whatever
like
the fuck
before.
it is. It's going to be its own universe, because you can't just throw them into it. Where were they in Endgame? You know what I mean? You're X-Men. It's not going to be in Earth 616. They're going to create another universe of fucking 207 or something, and they're not going to be in Earth 616. So technically, I wouldn't think Earth 616 is Earth 616. Martha fucking Jones Watson. I'll grill these fuckers all day.
Man, I'm with you.
So what they're doing, right? And this is weird, because this wasn't their initial plot. They were gonna do the New Avengers with Kang and the Kang Dynasty, and now that whatever fucking happened with Kang, even though I think he was acquitted eventually or let loose of the charges or some shit, they're going a whole another direction. They're going Doctor Doom, right? And one of the Avengers is going to be like Doomsday, and the Russo brothers are going to fucking be directing it. And the other one is Secret Wars. And this is where you're going to get all of them together. This is where all these stupid fucking universes are finally going to be able to mold together with Secret Wars. Because they should, in theory, be going towards Battle Planet, in theory. Well, they were with Kang Dynasty, you know what I mean? But I mean, everything's kind of thrown in. But either way, these are all separate universes, which kind of, like, if that was the plan from the rip, if you'd have told me that, okay, I get it. And I know they had to acquire all this stuff, but now that you're changing things, like in Earth 616, when I heard in Spider-Man, and I'm just digressing on my box again, but when she said Martha Jones, dude, fuck that.
Yeah.
Mary Jane Watson is too much of a fucking name to change. I don't care. It has to be Mary Jane. That's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
What are we going to call Peter Parker fucking Bob the Builder? Why not? Fuck not, you know? Change everything. This is what I'm talking about. If we can't hold people accountable, why change the name?
Yeah.
What's the point of it, right? And this is how wild it's getting, right? But I would give it probably a 7 out of 10. Just because it's funny. You can go and watch it, but it's not a movie I'd watch again, unfortunately. Maybe one more time, but I mean, unfortunately, it doesn't grab it, because I would have thought they would have been able to introduce the X-Men into something, and I thought this would have been the perfect bridge with Wolverine and Deadpool as being mutants, and they only focus around mutants, and this being the only real movie that's ever focused around mutants. To start connecting something, whether it just be like a cameo to connect the universe somehow within mutants, seeing the X-Men of future, or pulling the next Wolverine into it. Maybe they did. Yeah. Maybe Henry Cavill was the guy. Who the fuck knows? But there was nothing there. And I would have liked to have seen something, not just a nostalgic movie, because unfortunately I've seen how things like this go. I've seen the episode 7, 8, and 9 of Star Wars, where they were just trying to do a nostalgic run, and how great were those?
Oh boy, yeah,
Beautiful.
those were not the best there,
So,
buddy.
like I said, I have a big score with Disney, and don't kid yourself, HBO. When you talk about Game of Thrones, fan, I'll throw the mic out, dude. But like I said, 7 out of 10. It's funny. I know I can rant about negative aspects of it, but I would give it a 7 out of 10 because it is something to go enjoy and watch, and it's really nice seeing Wolverine as Hugh Jackman and Deadpool, and the comedy. Obviously, it had me laughing in the theater, and I just like I said, it's just not something I'd go and see it again because it has no relevance within Marvel anymore. It's just its own entity at the end of the day, and I hate the TVA. So one thing I did want us to talk about towards the end, and I wanted to get your opinion on it, is Doctor Doom. You want to bring us in on what's happening with Doctor Doom?
So they announced at San Diego Comic-Con that certain somebody who played Iron Man is coming back as Doctor Doom. This one's conflicting because I don't know. Like I said, I'm not comics knowledgeable. I don't know the lore. I've heard it's happened in the comics, but for me, this is where it comes back to what you were saying with Johnny Storm. And I totally get it, but like I said earlier, that Johnny Storm was just a blip. In and out. Gone. This is permanent.
Yeah, this is a permanent thing.
This is permanent. And I'm sorry, but whenever these movies do come out, all I'm gonna see is Iron Man in my mind of when he's performing. Until he puts on the Victor Von Doom mask, like it's I don't know.
Does his personality fit
feels desperate.
Von Doom? Think of Robert Downey Jr. in his movies, Sherlock Holmes, whatever you want to fucking take as whatever you want to take as a movie of his. Does Von Doom strike you as Robert Downey Jr.'s personality? Maybe egotistical or like a big ego, but how he talks personally, I don't see it. I see Iron Man, dude. Mm-hmm. They can't. Somebody said I read a comment on one of the things that I saw about it. And someone goes, the comments are the same. They're like, Iron Man. I don't know if I could see this. And somebody goes, his face better be unrecognizable. I'm telling you, he is too set. You can't take a character. This is the problem with the multiverse. You can't. I mean, you have to pick somebody else. And you know why they're doing this? Because they want to draw people in. They're taking a name, big name, and it's the same thing. It's the same reason they put Spider-Man into Iron Man, because technically the Amazing Spider-Mans didn't do well, even though I thought they were pretty good. They didn't do well in the box office. They needed a running jump. Holland? Yeah. They needed a running jump with it, and they put it into Civil War and attached it to Iron Man, so it had a push, even though I think they should have let it go after that, but I don't know why Spider-Man, the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, is controlling Stark Industries, but
just building stuff.
And he does. And one of the biggest things I can't stand about that is they call it the Peter Tingle. Oh my god, dude, get fucked. But yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to take something and you're gonna have to imagine not Iron Man. Mm-hmm. It's crazy, and I think it's gonna be hard for him. I don't think he's a bad actor. I think he could probably do something good with it. But no matter what, you're gonna see Iron Man in that screen unless you don't see him. The best you know who they need as a makeup artist? The dude who did Colin Farrell's makeup for the Penguin, dude.
Oh, yeah, because I had no idea that was him.
Yeah, you better call that guy.
Whatever. Yeah. Nah, I totally agree with you, but actually, I really agree with you with your whole summarize of the plot of what they're doing, because they're nitpicking. They're taking things from this, they're taking things from that, and that's why I have a problem with my whole side of it is more with the X-Men, because they started hinting at it with God, what's that garbage show I didn't even watch? What's the Indian girl? She's supposed to be Elastic, but
Oh,
they
you're
gave
talking
her a
about
whole
the
Miss
Marvel
Marvel.
things or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, I didn't even
because
watch it. I couldn't
didn't
bring
even watch it
myself to do.
either.
I don't watch anything with the Marvels. I think they're
Yeah,
terrible.
trash. But what I'm getting at is because they started hinting at mutants. Because I saw the clip. I think that's dumb.
How do you
That's
do
so
that?
dumb.
How do you do that, dude?
How do you do that? Which
Yeah.
and that's why I agree with you because now that they're taking, I'm guessing I don't know much about Secret Wars, but I'm guessing what's gonna happen is it's gonna be a giant war from different dimensions,
Yeah, yeah, different
basically,
people
right?
from different universes come in and
But
fight. Generally, that's why the King Dynasty was initially there because
yeah,
it was gonna push into Battle Planet, which I still think which I still think they're gonna push into. But Kang generally has a bigger influence
right.
within Battle Planet, and that's where
Hmm.
like after this huge eruption, especially after Secret Wars, they all fold into one universal planet, and that's where they're like kind of like fighting
Right.
itself. But I mean, it's a huge arc
Yeah.
itself. But
It's gonna be hard, man. It's gonna be real hard. The only thing I can think of that's gonna like kind of draw me into, which I know you hated, and I know you just said it, of them bringing Iron Man into the Spider-Man movies and giving him a push. But I feel like that connection's so strong. So when they do, if whatever they do, fight, and since he's becoming the big bad, I feel like the emotional connection with that is gonna bring up some good drama. Because Tom Holland Spider-Man is gonna be like, "Yo, what?"
this
Like
guy looks like Iron Man.
he looks exactly like Stark, and I have to
Yeah.
fight him now. So I
But
don't know, man. I feel like it's a double-edged sword with it.
I just
It's
like I said, it's just you gotta keep in mind though, like you get people like Spider-Man who are only there for the big entities itself, like Secret Wars or whatever. He's not really an Avenger unless everybody's called upon. You know, he's
yeah,
like Daredevil. He's like they're fighting in New York and doing whatever until they need everybody to assist. You know,
mm-hmm.
and I just think they're gonna have a hard time with this cell, and that's why they're bringing back the Russo brothers. I know the movies after Avengers haven't been doing the greatest, but they did good with what they directed. They directed Civil War too, and that's
Love Civil War.
unfortunate. Like, if you don't like Captain America, I love him, but those are some of the most grossing. Those are some of the best movie review movies that were in the Marvel universe because everybody loves Captain America, Bucky
Mm-hmm.
Barnes. I think they're. I think. I know we're drifting on time here, but
Right.
I know one of the other things I just want to chit chat with you about is Captain America coming up. I think the only thing I wanted to say this is the only reason that people are going to see it is because you got the Red Hulk in it,
Yep.
and I
That's
think
why
it's
they
going
showed
to
him.
be 3 minutes long, dude. It's
Oh, you think there's
not
gonna be
even,
like a 3-minute fight?
yeah, it's gonna be right at the end. He's not gonna be an enemy you think he's gonna be. It's a lie. They're just drawing somebody in. And dude, why can't I love Harrison Ford, but that guy's old as shit.
Yes, he
The
is.
reason they had to change him is because the other guy died in real life.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy's got clock is ticking too.
Mm-hmm. No,
And
I totally agree with you.
and
I
that's not
have
gonna go far.
no interest in this Captain America movie. I don't even want to see it because of Red Hulk. And I totally agree with you that I feel like it's probably gonna be like a twist. They're just but like see when they showed Red Hulk, that caught my interest. But that was it.
That's
And
why
I was
they're
like,
showing
I don't
it.
want to see I don't want to see this whole movie just for
Just
Red
to see
Hulk.
that, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to pay the money to see something at the end,
Yeah.
for sure.
And I don't even like the actor. I mean, I like him as the Falcon, but like as an actor in general, I'm not a big fan of his.
Yeah, I
But
don't.
now that he's Captain America, I'm just
He didn't. He just doesn't. And dude, blame the writing.
yeah.
Or Falcon Winter Soldier was terribly written. That was fucking stupid. They nerfed the
Mhm.
living piss out of the Winter Soldier, dude. He would have
Yeah.
beat the brakes off of U.S. Agent
Yeah,
at the end of the
definitely.
day, because
Yep.
especially if he just took the serum, he would have pound that fucker into the ground, dude.
Yeah.
And I think you also dip into trying to create something outside the comics because at the end of the day, U.S. Agent takes up the shield, and he takes up the shield, and Captain America sees he's a piece of shit, and he comes back and beats the living piss out of him. But
Mhm.
well, it kind of fights to a draw. But either way, Yeah, so that's our as we get off our future of
Review
Marvel
slash
plans,
rant.
dude. Yeah, that's our review for Deadpool Wolverine, right? 10 out of 10 over here, 7 out of 10 for me, and you guys, if you watch, you know why. Um, I enjoyed this. If you enjoyed it, go ahead and give it a like, subscribe, let me know, and we'll keep doing it.
Heck yeah, man.
Have a good one.
Peace.